So I've been reviewing some budget earbuds on my channel for a while now, and to my surprise, a lot of them actually turn out pretty decent, and for their price point is really worth looking at comparing for you to buy some of those bigger brands like Sony or Bose. The response of it is actually quite well, and I'm actually quite proud of some of the videos that I've made and some of the comments that you guys left me, and I really appreciate them a lot. Speaking about budget, now I want to actually talk a little bit about budget speakers, and today specifically we're talking about the Logitech X50 Bluetooth speaker, and to see whether the quality of it is actually good, and we'll do an unboxing as well as review on this speaker. So let's stay tuned and take a look at what this speaker can actually offer. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sean, and if you're new to my channel, I do a lot of tech reviews and unboxing, and if this is something that interests you, do consider subscribing to my channel. So let's get on with the video. So this is the box of the Logitech X50 mobile wireless speaker, and the one that I got here is actually in green, and this is actually how the box looks like. So in front you actually get to see how the speaker actually looks like, and there's some actually branding there for X50. More X50, and at the back here there's actually quite a lot of information about the speakers themselves, and here you can see that it supports wireless. Of course, this is actually Bluetooth. There's a rechargeable battery inside, auxiliary input, multi-device speaker, and so on. So let's just unbox this speaker and see what's inside this box. So here we have our trusty blade. So inside the box itself is actually very simple. So here you have a quick start manual which tells you what to do when you first get this. So turn it on and you should be able to start pairing your phone. So put that aside. You get a manual for the speakers, micro USB cable for charging, and this is actually a short cable, which to a certain extent is actually a good thing, and the speakers itself. That's all for the unboxing. Let's put all of these things aside and let's take a look at the speakers. So this is the speaker of the Logitech X50, and the design itself is pretty minimalist. So you get this speaker grill which is made out of plastic, and at the side all of this are plastic except for the bottom, which is a rubberized texture so that it actually stays on its surface without moving too much. And in terms of controls and interface, there's actually 3 buttons here: the power on button, and a volume up and a volume down. So in terms of design, this is actually quite minimalist and it actually looks quite good. I got these speakers for roughly around 54 Malaysian ringgit. For this price point, it's surprisingly good and high quality, these speakers. And here on the sides you actually have the 3.5mm jack, auxiliary jack, and here's the micro USB charging port for you to charge up your speaker. In terms of functionality, this is quite a basic speaker. It doesn't have water resistance like some of the Logitech UE boom speakers. This doesn't come with water resistance, but it is rated to be one of the best sounding budget level speakers, and we'll actually find out more about that later in our sound test. In order to charge the speakers, all you gotta do is actually plug a micro USB charger into its charging port, and you can see that there's a flashing pulsing purple light, and that indicates that the speaker is being charged. In order to connect the speaker to your phone or any device, all you gotta do is turn on the speaker for the first time, and you will be greeted with a voice prompt and a flashing blue light. And once that's done, you can actually click scan on your phone, and you can see that Logitech X50 is actually connected and ready to pair. Once you click on it, it starts pairing really quickly, and you can see that the light on the speaker itself turns solid blue. That means that your speaker is actually connected to the phone. to a certain extent, there's no way for you to actually check the level of battery that this speaker has. So even if you turn the speaker on and it starts connecting to your phone, it only says that your speaker is actually connected to the phone, but it doesn't say the amount of battery that you actually have. So you only have to rely on the light on your speaker to actually know how much battery that you have. So blue indicates that there's sufficient battery, and red means that you're running out of juice. So that is how you actually see how much power you actually have on your speaker. The Logitech X50 actually comes with a 750 milliamp hours battery, and that would actually last you around 5 hours of playback time. But there were a lot of experience from reviewers who actually say that this thing can actually last even up to 13 hours depending on the volume you run that at. So I haven't got the opportunity to actually test that out, but definitely check back soon to see the performance of the Logitech and how well it actually performs. So this small 750 milliamp hour battery actually takes roughly 1 hour to fully recharge from zero. And with that said, this battery, although it lasts you 5 hours, recharges actually fairly quickly, and you can actually charge it using any of your power banks or any wall socket that is around you. Overall, I think that the sound quality of this Logitech X50 is not too bad for a budget speaker, but to be honest, it is not really that impressive compared to much bigger speakers. But of course, considering that the driver size is so small and so portable, I think that you can't really complain too much about this, and it will be a great addition to your speakers around your home. If you like to travel around and have some speakers to actually play music with, I think this is definitely a good option for you to consider. So the functionality of the Logitech X50 isn't too impressive. It's a portable budget speaker that has quite a decent battery life. So let's compare that to one of its main rivaling competitors, which actually was rated one of the best small budget portable speakers a couple of years ago. So let's compare the JBL Go version 1 to the Logitech X50 and see how these two budget speakers actually sound like. So I'm actually going to play several clips of music on these two speakers, and you can actually make out for yourself which of these actually sound much better, comparing it to one another. So let's take a look at the comparison of the sound quality. So I hope you have, actually be able to hear the difference of the JBL Go as well as the Logitech X50. And in my personal opinion, I think that the Logitech X50 actually has an edge over sound quality compared to the JBL Go. Most people actually regard the JBL Go actually as a quite decent speaker. The lows are somewhat there, not too heavy, but somewhat there. But the Logitech X50 actually feels a little bit more polish overall. It sounds a little bit fuller compared to the JBL Go. But don't be mistaken, both of these speakers are still budget portable Bluetooth speakers, so please don't expect this to blow your mind. In terms of its size comparison to much bigger speakers, of course, this performs at its own league. Sound quality of the X50 actually sounds a little bit more well-rounded compared to the JBL. You can pick out a little bit more of the low ends. I would say that the high ends sound a little bit plasticky and mushy. All in all, I think that for this price point at 55 ringgit-ish, speakers, the build quality is definitely good and the sound quality is not too bad, but you know, there are a lot of rooms for improvements. So one of the things of all these Bluetooth speakers is the capability to actually play video without latency. So that is something that we want to test this out to see whether that actually is something that the X50 excels in or the X50 actually struggles in. So let's take a look at this clip to see whether or not the X50 actually performs well in terms of its latency tests.
You know, something else I want to talk about here, just mention briefly. Folks, as you're probably all aware, we live in security conscious times here in America. And I just want to take a second and applaud the security force here at NBC. They do an amazing job. You probably met some of them when you were coming in. Really great. They do a good job. Crack security team here. Crack security team. And I pass these people every day. I see the security guys, men and the women that are protecting us here in the building. And I see them and they're doing such a good job. And I started to think the other day, wouldn't it be interesting if I could see what it takes to be a top flight security guard here at 30 Rockefeller Center, you know? I wanted to know if I had the right stuff, if I could do it. So folks, guess what I did? I joined up for a night. That's right, I gave up my cushy late night job and I joined in on the security force here at Rockefeller Center. I brought a camera crew with me and this is what happened. Take a look.
So as you can see from that video, I think the latency of the Logitech X50 actually performs quite well, considering that this is a fairly budget level speaker. The latency of it watching video on YouTube actually is not too bad. You can see that the latency is actually quite minimal, that everything happens on point and in sync with the video and the audio. So all in all, I think that this speaker is actually something that is quite impressive, and for this price point, I think you should really pick this up and experience it for yourself. A Logitech X50 speaker with fairly good build quality, good sound quality, the battery life is very good, charging time is fast, and latency is actually fairly low. So all in all, a very good speaker for you to consider buying, whether it's for your own use or whether it's for a gift to someone. I think this is definitely a very good choice. So that's all for this video review. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.